Hello, friends. Debra MacIntyre here to talk to you about the importance of detoxification and how it relates to chronic diseases, cancer, and many other chronic diseases. I have to start, of course, by saying that I am a naturopath. I am not a medical doctor, so this is not to be construed as medical advice, but absolutely it is good advice. I'm going to share this out. And you guys, we're in the middle of transition in the United States. Our healthcare system is broken. Many of you know that. And people are getting frustrated with it. Just today, my mom sent me a great article in the Marietta Daily Journal about some legislation that has just passed in Georgia. And hey, Carolina, thanks for joining. So the Georgia legislature just passed a bill that will require doctors to tell women with dense breast tissue that they may not be able to detect cancer with a mammogram. This is huge. Radiation is not something you want to do over and over again. And women think they're being responsible, and they are, to check themselves on a regular basis, but they just have no idea that if their tissue is dense, a mammogram can't really find it. So doctors now are going to be required to tell women of other options like ultrasound, which can pick up abnormal cells much, much better. But I'm here to talk a little bit more in detail about preventing cancer, not so much in treating cancer. Detoxification. I want to start with my own story. A lot of you guys do not know that at age 26, I was diagnosed with cancer. It was a horrible experience. And of course, if you've ever known anybody who's faced this, you know it's not something we want to do. I was pregnant. I was just into my 5th month of pregnancy. I was a health club manager. I had a super healthy lifestyle. I exercised 2 or 3 times a day. I ate very healthfully. I took extra nutrition and vitamins. And I just thought I was the healthiest person around, right? And then I get this news that I have this very rare form of cancer, which basically is in the placenta. And so the tumors do put out pregnancy hormone so that you don't know that the baby has not survived. You just think you're continuing to develop into a pregnancy because the hormone continues to cause those changes in your body. So anyway, at the time, it of course freaked me out because I thought I had health nailed down. Like some of you guys have heard me talk about how early in my health club career, when I could see that exercise would help people get off some of their medications, I was sold. I was in, baby. This was my thing. And so I had no idea I was vulnerable, zero idea. And so for many years after that experience, and I did, I'm fine, as you can see today. I had 4 months of intensive chemotherapy. I had a minor surgery. But from 1981, when this occurred, to 1990, when my eyes were opened, I kind of worried that cancer could hit me again, right? And so in 1990, this is when I got exposed to naturopathic medicine. And I actually worked for a naturopath. And so I never even thought about detoxification. And as I learned that that was important, and I learned to open my eyes to the many, many influences in our environment that are just normal, background influences, I started to realize, holy cow, I'd been exposed to all kinds of things, horrible things over my lifetime. And because I was not a very good excreter, I didn't sweat really well, I didn't drink enough water when I was younger, different things like that. These toxins didn't have a good way to get out of my body. And so as I worked with this other naturopath, and went back to school, yada, yada, to take this path myself to help people, I really learned the importance of detoxification. And so I want to give you guys today sort of 3 levels of detox that are available to you and that you can use. And the first is a gentle daily detox. These are things that you just work into your lifestyle habits. You know, for example, it's super important to drink enough water, and you want clean water. You don't want to get it from the tap. You want to be sure your filter is taking out as much nasty stuff as humanly possible. I'll put in the comments, the Big Berkey is, and I think it's just EY, that is an excellent water filter, and it takes out so many of the things that need to be removed. You know, we've got medicine in our water. People are on so many drugs in our country. We really are a drug nation, and it's because medical doctors haven't been trained to look at the underlying causes of disease like toxic loads. They're taught to treat it with a medication. So it's not unusual for me to see people that are on many, many different medications when they come into my office, but I digress. So drinking pure water, clean water every single day, and drinking enough of it. Take your body weight in pounds, divide it by 2, and that's how many ounces of fresh water you should have every day. Being sure your bowels are moving. It's so common that people skip days here and there, or maybe go 2 or 3 times a week. I can't believe how many times I see this in my practice, but you're not eliminating your toxicity when that happens. So you need to, you know, do it the old-fashioned way. Eat some prunes or whatever, take some fiber. All those things can help, and you can always message me if you need some additional pointers on that, but get those bowels moving. And then the last gentle detox that you can do every single day, I've promoted a lot, it's dry skin brushing. You get just a natural bristle wooden brush that you can get really anywhere. I even see them in the grocery store these days in the bath department. And you're going to brush your skin before you bathe or shower. That skin is a huge organ of elimination. And when you brush yourself daily like that, you can excrete a lot of toxicity. So those are the daily things to do. Now, guys, look in the reverse too, because yes, we want to add the good, but we also want to take away the bad. So educate yourself about what toxins are in your environment. And don't just think that because, you know, a cleaning chemical is popular on a shelf, that it is good for your body. There are so many good old-fashioned ways. Hey, Aaliyah, glad you could be here. Tons of good old-fashioned ways to detoxify, you know, clean your house without toxic exposure. White vinegar is one. Essential oils are another one. You can even buy cloths with silver infused into it, so you don't have to use chemicals at all, and it takes all the bacteria and things away in your environment. So don't add any bad things either. Okay, so we've talked about gentle detoxification. Now I want to talk about going a little bit deeper. And these are still things that is safe for you to do. Obviously, if you have a health condition, check with whoever is treating you and be sure. But generally speaking, this second tier of detox strength is good for anybody. And that would be things like taking a bath once a week, a warm bath with a cup of Epsom salts in it. You're going to pull toxins out through your skin with that, and it's perfectly safe to do that once a week. Really, anything that causes you to sweat. Some people like to do hot yoga classes. Those are awesome. Those are amazing. And then sauna. Maybe you belong to a gym and you have access to a sauna that you can use 2 or 3 times a week. All of that is super healthy. And in fact, on the sauna, a study in Scandinavia showed that people reduce their cause of death from any illness or situation by a dramatic number. I'm sorry, I don't remember, but it was like 30%. It was something crazy by just doing sauna on a regular basis. So those are the sort of next step levels. Intermittent fasting would fit in this category, and that is when you limit your food intake to 8 to 10 hours per day. And when you do that, your body can switch from burning and digesting food to eliminating toxins. So it really does help you switch into a good detox mode just yourself. Your body has its own methods of detoxifying. And, it's always interesting to me to look at history. when you look at the Bible, you look at Native American Indians, you know, in the early days recorded in the Bible, people fasted on a regular basis. It was a purifying, it was a spiritual thing. I see a person on here who knows about a sauna detoxification program, which would be very similar to what the Native Americans used to do with the sweat lodges, pulling lots of toxins out of the body. So don't underestimate the power of detox. And even in ancient times, when you think about it, these guys didn't have the toxic burdens that we have today, but they knew, even just from the byproducts of their own digestion, they had toxins in the body that needed to come out. So there you go. Now, I want to talk about heavier detoxification. And heavier detoxification is not appropriate for everyone. So this is something that it's a really good idea to be under someone's care. If not me, I mean, obviously I can't treat everybody, but a chiropractor who's well-trained, a naturopath, you want to be under somebody's care to do some of these extra heavy detoxes. So one is a parasite cleanse. And a lot of people don't realize it, but lots and lots of us do have critters inside. It's not pleasant to think about, but it is real. And I love the work of Dr. Dietrich Klinghardt. He's a mentor of mine, and he does a parasite cleanse with, you know, early in the detox game, because parasites can actually hold other infections that if we try to clear our body of those first, the parasites just reinfect us. So it's something that is important for a lot of people to do, but you need to be supervised. Then ion cleanse foot baths. We do these in my office. They're available all over the place. Just search detox foot bath in your town, and I'm sure you'll come up with several locations. The reason I put this into the category of a heavier detox is that if it does pull out good things along with bad things. So it will pull minerals out of your body. So you know, it's not for everyone, but it can be super, super helpful. Hey, Annette, I'm glad to see you here today. Eleanor Rigby. So let me review so far where we are, because we've had some extra people join. So 3 different levels, you could say, of detoxification. First is gentle cleansing. This is every day, guys. Put this in your habits, because the little things that you do every day either are picking you up or they're taking you down. So this is things like drinking enough water, being sure your bowels move, Ellen, I mean, I keep wanting to call you Eleanor, but anyway, and that says, I'm learning about parasites. Yes, yes, I learned about them the hard way myself. And let me tell you, when you see them, it is quite astounding. I will spare us all the detailed picture of that. But anyway, Lisa, glad you could be here. This is right up your alley. We're talking about detoxification, how we are about to reach a tipping point in the United States with healthcare, where people, consumers, want to move away from the drug model and want to move toward a holistic model. And I'm so delighted to see this. I'm going to divert for one quick second. I just, a couple of weekends ago, attended a professional conference where the chancellor from Life University here in Atlanta, our chiropractic college, spoke. And it was so amazing to hear him. You know, Western medicine is based on a mechanistic view of the body. You know, the heart is the heart, the liver is the liver, and you know, if you have something going on there, you go to that particular doctor, they're going to treat that particular thing. But it has lost the holistic look that we used to have when the old-timey family practitioner, you know, delivered your parents, you know, would look at a baby with colic and say, hey, maybe they don't like milk. You know, they were much more looking holistically at a person. But as we've become more advanced scientifically, we've lost that more holistic view. And the other aspect of a mechanistic look at the body is it looks at the body as being more important than the spirit. And let me go into some detail about that. Different cultures call this different things. In Chinese medicine, you call it qi. It's called elan vital. There are different words that are put to this, but there is an energy that is present when you're living that is absent when you pass on. And a mechanistic view of the body doesn't take into consideration that spirit, right? And so that's where stress can come in. You know, people, like, everybody inherently knows that stress will pull your health down, but not everybody knows why stress will pull your health down, and that is why. So hey, nice to see you, Clishio. You've got some other folks joining. I'm really happy to have you here, because you guys, we are the ones that are going to affect change. We are the ones that are causing this tipping point to occur. So the Life University chancellor was talking about how we're moving toward what's called neo-vitalism. And what neo-vitalism literally means, of course, neo is new, but vitalism is taking into account that this person is a spiritual being, and that you can't just look at the body as a body. You have to say, hey, what's this person's social network? Are they taking care of themselves? Do they live a full life? Do they have a purpose in life? These are things I talk to my clients about a lot, because without it, it's very, very hard to heal. So anyway, this is a movement that is starting to happen, and the more you guys share out information, not just from me, but there's many other voices out there moving this in the same direction, but share, you know, communicate, let people know, because honestly, people have no idea. I started with my story of cancer at age 26. You can replay if you want to hear it, but I had no idea that the toxins in my environment could cause me, a health club instructor, a fitness girl, a vegetarian, healthy diet, lots of supplements girl. I couldn't believe it when I got cancer. It just threw me. So anyway, detoxification was the missing piece. So to reiterate, your daily habits that help your body cleanse, super basic, super important. Drink the water, be sure you eliminate, dry brush your skin every day. Then we go to the a little bit more aggressive, where it's not aggressive enough that you can't do this on your own, but it is assisting your body more than just your daily habits. And then those would be things like taking a bath once or twice a week with a cup of Epsom salts. That warm water just pulls those toxins out of your body. You know, the Epsom salts help to do that. And it's a great way to pull out toxins, and it's not going to be too hard to anything. Okay, my Windows wants to restart. This would not be a good time. Okay, anyway. So then in this category as well would be things like intermittent fasting, because when you go into a fasting mode, your body switches from converting food to energy and building cells into clearing toxins out of the cells. Now, intermittent fasting is when you narrow your eating window to 8 to 10 hours a day. That would be considered in this category where anybody could do this and pretty much be fine with it. You don't really need to be overseen by a practitioner. I mean, unless use common sense. You know, if you don't feel good, if things are, you know, if you're having trouble, then absolutely consult somebody. But then we go into the heavier modes of detoxification, and that would include parasite cleansing. And you guys, it is crazy how many of us have parasites. I mean, the official medical guess is that in Georgia, about 1/3 of citizens have parasites. But when you look at the experts that have in the alternative field that have done lots and lots of work into this, they're like, guys, it's probably more like 90%. It's crazy. I had a client years ago. It was so cute. She was from the hills of North Georgia, wonderful, wonderful country woman. And she was telling me, we were talking about parasites, and she told me about when she was a little kid. And she said, every year at the end of the summer, they'd worm us. And if we didn't act right, they'd worm us again. It's like, well, okay. But that's wisdom, you know, we don't want to lose that wisdom just because we think we're so detached from nature and the earth that we couldn't possibly be, you know, inhabited by unwelcome guests. So anyway, parasite cleansing though should be done with supervision from somebody that knows what they're doing, because you can actually cause yourself some trouble if you detox too fast. So I want to make you aware of these things, but I also want you to know, hey, work with somebody if you want to go that deep. Then besides parasite cleansing, we have hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Hyperbaric oxygen is really, really good when infection is part of what is making you sick. So a lot of people, I'm going to bring up Lyme disease. Lyme disease is another thing. I mean, you guys, really, it is a parasite. It's just a microscopic one. And it used to be thought that it was super rare, that you had to be bitten by a tick, yada, yada. But now we know differently. We know, hi, Kiana, glad you could be here. Thanks for saying hello. We're talking detox, of course. And then, so anyway, Lyme disease is another thing that is way more prevalent than people ever thought. And we now know that the test for Lyme disease, the blood test, is a very poor way of detecting it. So anyway, these are things that that hyperbaric oxygen can really, really help with. So if you've had mold exposure and you've been really toxic with mold, if you've had Lyme disease, if you've had sepsis, you know, I work with several people over the years that have had, you know, life-threatening sepsis. It's like a miracle they're here. And just because you're medically clear from a big infection like that, or even a smaller infection, it doesn't mean it's all the way out of your body. And so these microbes, when you get, you know, compromised with too little sleep, bad food, stress, whatever, they can kind of bloom again. That's what a lot of chronic bronchitis is. It's like you never really cleared it in the first place. You're just getting, you know, your nose above the water line, and then something comes and hits you, and boom, you can't handle it anymore. So, yeah, Klashia says she's been looking into intermittent fasting. I'm a huge fan of that. And anybody can play with that. You don't have to be under someone's care to do that. Now, if you're diabetic or you have some kind of metabolic disorder, then, you know, pay closer attention to how you feel. You shouldn't feel bad. Last week, I did a stream, which I will put the link to in the comments when I'm done here. I did a stream where I went through a detailed explanation of why detoxing can sometimes make you worse instead of better. And I don't mean just make you feel worse. I mean actually be harmful to you if you don't do it correctly. And so I'll put the link there so you can understand how that works. But intermittent fasting for most people is totally fine. So for the heavier detox, we've got parasite cleanses, we've got hyperbaric oxygen, we've got fasts, you know, not just intermittent fasting, but like a true fast. There are many, many levels that you can do this. You can go super easy and just do a raw food fast over a weekend. This I would put into the category that really anybody could do, because you're eating vegetable, fruit, raw nuts and seeds, olive oil, lemon juice, things like that. Anybody can do that for a couple of days, and it really does help to clean out your system. But heavier fasting, like a water fast or a juice fast, there's one called the Master Cleanse that I'm a huge fan of. We used to nickname that Cajun lemonade. It's lemon juice, water, grade B maple syrup, and cayenne pepper. But those are ones that you really should be under someone's supervision, because, excuse me, you do not want to make yourself worse in any way. You don't want to cause more damage to your cells. But these are deeper cleanses. Colon cleansing is another one. You can actually go to a colon hydrotherapist and get cleansing. You can do enemas at home. But again, this is one that you really need to be sure that it's appropriate for you, because everybody is different. There's no one cleanse that's going to be right for every person. And there's no one person that a cleanse will be appropriate for at every stage of their life or their health condition. So when you go to these deeper modes, you really do want to work with somebody. And Kiana is asking about parasite cleanses. Yes, usually you do those with herbs. And she says, and you did spell it correctly. She says our parasite cleanse is good for people who have H. pylori. H. pylori is very interesting because so first of all, I want you guys to understand that when you have one bad guy in your body, you can have others. So the one is obvious, like the H. pylori, but you can have other bad guys in your system. You're never going to clean these out if you're too acidic and if you don't have enough oxygen. So these are sort of remedial steps that you have to go through. And one of my favorites to both alkalize a person and to help them bring more oxygen into their body is chlorophyll. I'll put those in the comments. Chlorophyll will alkalize and bring oxygen. Both of those are super duper important when you're trying to get rid of bacteria, parasites, you know, all the bad guys that could infiltrate your body. So that gives you a good overview if you or overlook. If you go back and look at the replay, you can catch a few little extra things, but I think most of you guys got the gist of most of it. I have an announcement to make that I'm super excited about. I have just finished my first ebook. I have been working on this for a really long time. I'm very much a perfectionist, so I've done many, many redos, but I'm calling it the 3-week reboot. And it's an ebook that takes you step by step through how to unstick your body, because that's super important. Like if you're going to detox, things have to be unstuck. They have to be able to flow. You have to actually be able to eliminate the things that you're stirring up. And I talked a little bit about this last week, so you'll get that when I put the link in the comments. But my book is going to go way, or does go way deeper into that. I am a person that believes strongly that knowledge is power. I do believe that is true. And it's like the old, hey, you can teach a man to fish or give him a fish. I want to teach you guys to fish, because when you learn the principles of things, you can apply it for the rest of your life, and you do not have to be the ill effect of the things going on around you. So what the 3-week reboot does is, first of all, it educates you. It takes you through how to reboot your metabolism, because a lot of our body's metabolisms are just stuck and not moving. It takes you through how to reboot your home, how to spot and remove the everyday toxic dangers that are in your home. And I go into this in great detail. It's a lot, and if you just make changes a little at a time, like over time, you're going to have so much out that's going to help you to thrive. It's wonderful. And then the last thing is that I've included is a series of acupuncture stretches. So we don't use needles, but these are stretches that are used to open up your acupuncture energy flows, because those get stuck too. And so it takes only a few minutes a day to do it, and it helps open up your energy flows while you're opening up your metabolism and minimizing the things that you're putting in. So I'm going to record in the comments, if you're interested in the ebook, it's $37. It contains the information that I give clients all day for hundreds of dollars. So not everybody can come and work one-on-one. And like I mentioned, my mission is really to help push this tipping point of our healthcare to a true healthcare and not just a sick care. So you're going to see me putting out programs like this as time goes on. And now that I've done the first one, I'm better at it. It'll be faster. So if you want to either message me if you're interested, or you can call our office and order, and we'll send you the link, and we'll send you the download, the link to PayPal and the link to download. And my baby is now ready for everybody. So you guys, I always appreciate so much when you join me on these streams. Like, it means the world to me. And I'm streaming on Valentine's Day. My heart is here with you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much for sharing. Let anybody you know who might benefit from this. And I will really look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Have a great week. Bye.